Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into the mind of an absolute giant, a man who taught the world that the most powerful tool you have in investing and in life isn't a stock ticker, it's a rational mind.
Yeah, everyone knows Warren Buffett. He's the face of Berkshire Hathaway. But the guy behind the guy, the intellectual architect, that was Charlie Munger. He didn't just support Buffett, he fundamentally changed how the world's greatest investor thinks.
So what was Munger's secret sauce? How did he build this incredible framework for thinking? Let's peel back the layers and really get into his method, because it's just as much about living a wiser life as it is about making smarter investments.
Okay, so picture this. It's 1959, at a dinner in Omaha. Munger and Buffett meet, and they just click. They end up talking for 8 hours straight, and that one conversation, well, it wasn't just a friendly chat. It was the spark that ignited a partnership that would literally rewrite the rules of finance. And what's so fascinating is that they were like total opposites. Buffett was the optimist, the data guy, always hunting for good value. Munger, on the other hand, was this blunt, sarcastic philosopher who relentlessly, and I mean relentlessly, pushed for quality. And that tension between them, it created this perfectly balanced and incredibly powerful partnership. But here's the thing. Munger wasn't always an investor. Not even close. His path to becoming a legend was, well, pretty unconventional. It was really a masterclass in how to adapt and just keep learning from totally different fields.
I mean, check out this journey. He was a meteorologist in World War II. Then he goes to Harvard Law and graduates with high honors. He even co-founds a law firm that's still one of the best in the country. But law, for him, it was intellectually stimulating, sure, but financially limiting. So he started taking his legal earnings and investing them. And that's when he pivoted to his true calling.
And wow, his talent was obvious right from the start. This number you're seeing, 19.8%, that was the average annual return of his investment partnership from 1962 to 1975. To put that in perspective, he nearly tripled the performance of the Dow during that time. It's like he was playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers.
So, the big question is, how? How did he do it? It all comes down to the Munger method, a philosophy that didn't just guide his own money. It completely reshaped Buffett's strategy and became the absolute bedrock of Berkshire Hathaway.
See, early on, Buffett was following his mentor Ben Graham, using what they called the cigar butt approach. You look for these awful, beaten-down companies that are so cheap they have one last free puff of profit left in them. It worked, sure, but Munger knew you couldn't build a real empire on scraps.
This quote right here, this is everything. This is the Munger philosophy in a nutshell. He's the one who hammered it into Buffett's head. Forget the cheap junk. Let's hunt for truly wonderful businesses with lasting advantages. And this whole pivot is perfectly shown in one key deal.
Right, 1972. Munger convinces a very hesitant Warren Buffett to buy See's Candies. Now, on paper, it wasn't cheap, but it had something the balance sheet couldn't show. A powerful brand, intense customer loyalty, and the ability to raise its prices without losing any business.
That was the price tag. $25 million. At 3 times its book value, it seemed way too expensive to Buffett at the time. It really went against everything his mentor, Graham, had ever taught him.
But that single investment, that one bet, has since generated over $2 billion in pre-tax profits for Berkshire. It was the deal that proved Munger's philosophy was the right one, and it changed Berkshire's path forever.
So how did he keep seeing what everyone else was missing? Well, Munger had a secret weapon. He called it his latticework of mental models. He believed that to really understand how the world works, you can't just know one thing. You have to draw on the big ideas from all the major disciplines, psychology, economics, physics, biology, and weave them together. It's all about seeing a problem from 100 different angles to find the real truth.
And that leads us to his other favorite tool, which he explained with this kind of weird but absolutely brilliant quote. It's a concept called inversion. So instead of asking how to succeed, Munger would always start by asking, how could we fail? And then he just worked tirelessly to avoid those things.
You see, for Munger, success wasn't about being a genius. Not at all. It was about consistently avoiding stupidity. Don't get into a ton of debt, don't chase the latest hype, stick to what you actually understand. This discipline of just avoiding major mistakes was way, way more powerful than trying to have occasional moments of brilliance.
So what does all this mean for us right now? The Munger method isn't just a cool theory. It produced some of the most staggering results in the history of finance. So let's look at the performance, and more importantly, the lessons we can actually use.
And the proof is right here in the numbers. Munger's rational discipline helped Berkshire achieve an annualized return that was nearly double the S&P 500. Not for a year or two, but for almost 60 years. That is the unbelievable power of long-term, rational thinking.
So, how do we actually apply this worldly wisdom to our own lives? Well, it boils down to a few core ideas. Commit to being a lifelong learner. Use inversion to spot the pitfalls before you fall into them. Focus on quality over a cheap price tag. And maybe the hardest one of all, be patient. Think in decades, not days. You know, these aren't just investing rules. They're principles for a better life.
In the end, Charlie Munger's legacy isn't really about the billions of dollars. It's about this powerful, timeless reminder to think rationally, learn constantly, and just avoid foolish errors. His greatest lesson? You don't have to be a genius to win. You just have to be a little wiser today than you were yesterday, and then let the incredible magic of compounding do all the heavy lifting for you.